Okay, so now you know about me. I know a little bit about you. Let's get started. I don't want to say let's go to work because this isn't work, this is fun. And you're going to learn some stuff. Over the next however many hours we have, you guys are going to learn a lot about pediatrics for the exam. Okay? By definition, this is a review. So we have to assume that there's a little bit of knowledge already, but we're going to teach you some things. And we're going to teach you a lot of the high yield that you need for the exam. We're going to teach you and give you so many pearls, okay, that by the end of our time together, you'll be able to make a pearl necklace, a pearl headband, a pearl wristband, a pearl anklet. You'll have so many pearls that you're going to be very rich, okay? All right, let's get started. A newborn infant at birth is noted to have acrocyanosis, a heart rate of 140, grimaces to stimulation, and is active with a lusty cry. What is her Apgar score? Please feel free to tell me what her Apgar score is. Okay. Now, while you are calculating your Apgar scores, if we were in the right live, no, you can't give me at least. You have to give me a number. On the exam, you're going to have to say 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Those are your choices. Okay? And if you get it right in the really live lectures, the actual live lectures, I would be throwing a chocolate Hershey's Kiss to you. Since we're not live that way, you will get virtual chocolates. Okay? So I see a variety of scores. People are changing their names, their numbers, okay? This picture that you see right now is the actual picture of Virginia Apgar. Virginia Apgar was an anesthesiologist who developed this score, okay? And it is a score that is used right at birth to help the physician in assessing the child. The score is given, it is a score of 0, 1, or 2. And there are 5 categories for the Apgar score. So the lowest score you can get is a 0, and the highest score you can get is a 10. And you have in your notes, okay, in your notes, you have the table which explains the Apgar score. Okay? So when we look at this baby, the first thing they tell us about is acrocyanosis. So we have to take away a 1 for that. Okay? The heart rate is 140. We give 2 for that. A grimace is only a 1. Active is a 2, and a lusty cry, whatever that is also a 2. So this patient gets an 8. We have to take 1 off for acrocyanosis. Acrocyanosis is cyanosis of the hands and the feet. And we take 1 off for the grimace. Okay? So those of you, and you know who you are, who put down 8, here are some chocolates for you. If you'd like to share them with your other friends online, that's okay by me. Okay? So the score is typically given at 1 minute and at 5 minutes. Okay? The 1 minute score is a measure of what has been going on in utero. And the 5 minute score is a measure of the baby's ability to shift, to adjust, adapt from being in utero to being out in the real world. Okay? 1 minute is a reflection of what was going on in utero. 5 minutes is the is known as a fair Apgar score, and 8, 9, and 10 is a good Apgar score. You can sometimes see a patient might get actually a third score. So I said 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then the Apgar score, another one can be given at 10 minutes, at 15 minutes. That's never good because most normal babies get a 1 and a 5. If you get subsequent 5-minute scores, it can be useful to assess your resuscitation efforts. Okay, so most babies just get a 1 minute and a 5 minute. Now, having told you about this, it's also important to realize that if a baby has a very poor score and it's not even a minute, you don't sit there and wait and time it. You need to be doing something to resuscitate the baby. All right? Okay, the way that you're going to get Apgar scores on the exam, here's your first pearl. Here's a simulation. You might get a question just like this one. Just like that one. That is one way of getting an Apgar score question. Another way of getting an Apgar score question is that they might put the actual scores in the stem of the question. So they're not going to ask you what the score is. They will give them to you. And then you have to interpret those scores. They might give you a poor score, and then you have to kind of, okay, what's associated with poor scores? What does this mean? So you have to identify that, A, that's a poor score, and then they'll go ask a question based on that, and that would be a piece of information that you need to answer the question. So they're testing you on, do you know that that's a poor Apgar score, and what is the association? Having an Apgar score question. Or they might have very long answers. They say, which of the following comprise the Apgar score? And then they'll have heart rate, respiration, color, tone, reflex irritability. That would be the correct answer. But another answer might be heart rate, blood sugar, blah, blah, blah. Another one might be heart rate, blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. Another one might be, you see what I'm saying. Okay, so they give you the long answers with all the components. That's a third way of asking an Apgar score question. More often, it's the first one, what's the score, or they put it in there as a piece of information for you to answer the question. Okay? The Apgar score is an immediate assessment. It does not predict the future. Okay? It does not say, because of your score, that you're going to do well in life and go on because you had scores of 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. It doesn't mean that you're going to go to medical school. And if you had scores of 4 and 4, that you can only go to law school. Okay? It doesn't work that way. It does not predict. So there you have the actual components of the Apgar score. And the mnemonic for Apgar, there's another pearl. Okay? You're going to have lots of pearls, and we're going to go through the questions one way or another. So please try to keep track of the number of pearls and the questions. All right, so appearance, the Apgar score, the mnemonic is Apgar. Appearance, pulse, grimace, activity, and respirations. So appearance, you're blue or you're pale with blue extremities, that would be acrocyanosis, or you're pink all over. The pulse is easy, 0, less than 100, greater than 100. The grimace is many times when you're reading the stem of the question, they might describe the response to putting a catheter in the baby's nose to suction. Do they do nothing? Do they just make a face, or do they actually get mad and try to withdraw? The activity has to do with the baby's tone. Is it completely flaccid? Is it weak, or is he active and flexed and moving around? Now, activity or muscle tone, is sometimes dependent on prematurity, or all of these things, the Apgar score can also be affected by things that happen to the mom. So for example, if the mother, if it was a C-section under general anesthesia, the baby may wake up, may be delivered, and have some respiratory issues because the general anesthesia has affected the baby. So keep that in mind, okay? The baby has been exposed to things in utero. All right? You may be born with a normal Apgar score and an hour later or so have problems. Again, the Apgar score does not predict the future. Certainly, babies with very low Apgar scores tend to not do as well as babies with fair or good Apgar scores. Okay,